For the past 10 years, our next guest has been helping people through the spiritual challenges of aging. Please welcome to Context, Sister Mary Rose Marrin. So I'm getting a wake-up call today that aging is not about physical decline. It's not the first go-to I should go to. You don't think about physical decline in aging. Why not?
Well, I do to some extent. I think what I've learned is that aging is both decline and potential for growth. Wow. And for generations, we've thought of aging basically only in terms of decline. But in the 1970s, gerontologists started to explore the undeveloped aspects of aging. And when they did their studies, one of the things that emerged was that a strong, undeveloped potential was spirituality. And that people actually have potential for greater inner growth as they get older than at any other time in their life.
Oh my goodness, so where do we begin on this?
Well, I think we begin to recognize that maybe there are possibilities that we haven't thought about before.
And you classify people as pre-retired, retired, and seasoned retired. So just take us through those categories for a moment.
Well, when we're talking about the second half of life,
okay,
we tend to think of only elders. And actually, second half of life has three groups. There's the pre-retired and the early retired. The more seasoned retired are the people who start to get into their, their late 70s and 80s, and they begin to have some chronic illnesses perhaps, but they're very active and still involved. And then we have our elders. And some of our elders are very active and some are quite frail.
So where do I begin as one of those categories of seniors if I want to start this spiritual growth?
One of the things that happens as we get older is that we have a greater capacity to reflect. And we live in a culture that doesn't really encourage too much reflection because we are too busy doing things and consuming experiences, so we just keep moving forward. One of the realities is that as people get older, there are more losses. In fact, dealing with loss becomes the central challenge of growing older. And every loss is accompanied with pain. And so it's a question of how do we help people deal with their pain so that they really believe right now that there's life after loss.
So where do you go with that? Who offers the life after loss?
Well, their own life experience. Like many people have had significant losses. They've worked through the pain of it, and they've come through maybe with new experience, with new insight. People who deal with the pain of their own losses become compassionate human beings.
Sister
and that's the new life.
And your work has shown us that the church has not always done the caring job. So if I want to connect back to a spiritual source, I had it maybe way back when, it went away for a long time, I'm a senior, and I need to find my God story back. I need to find out the knowledge of how I anchor myself in God. What do they do?
Well, one of the things that I find is really helpful with people is to help them reflect on their own life story. I do a lot of life story work. And for example, if you say to somebody, what's a memory that you have from your childhood? And they tell you a story. They don't discuss it. They tell you a story. And so if they remembered that, then I might say, why do you think that's important to you? And very often they've never thought about that. And I'm thinking of one person, and it was a story of a tea set. And anyway, it's a long story. And at the end of it, in this writing group, we said, why do you think that's important to you? And there was great silence, and the woman waited. And finally she said with a little tear, I was very much loved. And I never thought of that before.
Wow.
So if you can help people connect with those experiences, then they're on the path.
Wow. Well, I just want to thank you very much for doing the work that you're doing in creating a spirituality program for seniors and encouraging church groups to have these discussions with their seniors. Thank you very much, Mary Rose.
You're welcome.
Thank you.